Okay, so today we are in 5th period and we are going to be solving equations with variables on both sides of the equation using the distributive property. So my first example is, remember teacher model number 1, our pins are capped, eyes are forward. So we have the equation 3 times the quantity of b plus 5 equals 4 times the quantity of 2b minus 5. Okay, so when you're looking at this, your little eagle eye should be looking up there, right? And looking on the equation, on the equal sign, you're looking here, and on the left I see that I have, do you see how you have these parentheses on both sides? Yeah. And in parentheses? Okay, so you have, I see I have 3b, so I'm going to say 3 times b and 3 times 15. On the right side I have 4 times 2b, so that's 8b, and 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. So now this is just like what we were doing yesterday. It's just a variables on both sides. So we're going to go right to step 4, which tells me that I'm going to go to my least variable. Remember, these are both plus, positive. So 3 is smaller than 8, so I'm going to subtract 3b from both sides. I think someone needs to use a tissue in here. Okay, so 3b minus 3b, that goes to 0. I'm going to bring down my 15 equals 5b, okay, and I'm going to bring down my minus 20. Okay, so now step number 5 says on the variable side, so remember your variable is the number with your letter, I'm going to add or subtract the constant. So because this says minus 20, I'm going to add 20 to both sides, okay? So I'm going to add 20. Remember your eyes should be forward looking at the screen, not on your papers. Okay, so I get 35 equals 5b, or 5 times b. So now step 6 says I want to get b alone, so I'm going to have to divide both sides by 5. So 35 divided by 5 is 7, and then b, it's all by itself. And then a kid earlier today said this great quote. It says, you know when you're done when there is one side that has no more numbers. So do you see how the right side has no more numbers? So now we're done. I thought that was a good little kid-friendly quote. So now we're going to do our check. So we put it back into our original equation. We're putting back the original, what a B stood for. Oh, fiddlesticks.
Do a line at the top. Just do a line at the top.
Do a line at the top. Thank you, sir. We'll just do this. So this should be 7 plus 5. And then this should be a 7, right? Okay, so 3 times 7 plus 5 is 12. 4, and this is what, 14 minus 5. So 36, 14 minus 5 is 9, times 4 is 36. So they equal each other and they check. So what are our steps? So our steps, again, we want to always start by analyzing the equation. We don't have any fractions or decimals, so we aren't going to do that. We're looking and we're saying, okay, we're going to distribute. All right, so we're going to distribute. Step 3 or step 4 says to combine like terms. Actually, I should change these. This should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then you're going to combine like terms, and this is on either side of the equal sign. And then step 4, which is what we've been working on, you're going to add or subtract the least variable to both sides. On the variable side, add or subtract the constant, and then get the coefficient alone by multiplying or dividing. And then you always want to chickadee check yourself. Okay, so the next one, it's going to be a little bit different. It has a fraction in it, but don't freak out. So we have negative 2 times the quantity of x minus 5 equals 6 times the quantity of 2 minus 1/2 x. Now, because this fraction, do you see how the 2 is inside the parentheses? Don't worry about clearing it out because it's inside. So what you're going to do is, again, so I see step 1, we're going to analyze. We don't need to do that. So we're going to start here at step 2, which says to distribute. So I'm distributing. Remember, I like to draw a circle around the number I have to distribute. Right, we're going to build our little wall, draw a little wall down here. Okay, so negative 2 times x is a negative 2x. I love the way that I see a lot of you guys are showing me. You're paying attention nicely. Negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10. Positive 6 times positive 2 is a positive 12. And then here, when you're multiplying a whole number times a fraction, remember you always multiply the number times the numerator. So this is a 6, because this is like 6 over 1. Or 6 divided by 1, excuse me, and then x. So now all of step 2 is we're going to simplify this fraction here. which is 12 minus 6 divided by 2 is just 3x. Negative 2x plus 10. And now this looks just like what we've been doing. So I have negative 2x and negative 3x. Remember our least variable, step 4. We want to do the one that's closer to the ground on our vertical number line, step 4. So we're going to add 3x to both sides because this is actually our least variable. So add 3x, add 3x. So x, remember if you need to put the 1 there, you can, plus 10 equals 12. And now step 5, what does step 5 say to do? It says on the variable side, add or subtract the constant. Because our constant's being added, we're going to subtract it here. So minus 10, minus 10. Okay, so what's our answer? Right, cross those out. X equals 2, and then we have to check ourselves. So negative 2 times 2 minus 5 equals 6 times 2 minus 1/2 times 2. Okay, so we have negative 2 times negative 3. 6 times 1/2 of 2 is just 1, so 2 minus 1. So 6, negative 2 times 3, negative 3 is 6, and then 2 minus 1 is 1 times 6, so it checks. All right, so this is your turn right now. So what I want you to do is you're going to go ahead and we're going to do on your whiteboards, I want you to go ahead and copy this problem down. It is, grab the wrong number, color. Okay, so, and you might want to actually use the teacher model 2, this first step as your example right here. So guided practice number 1, let's go ahead and we're going to do 6 times the quantity of 1 plus 1/2 x equals 2 times x plus 1. So I just want you to do step 2 and stop. If you're watching this video, go ahead and pause the video. Okay, do step 2, all of step 2 and stop. Okay, so step 2 was to distribute. Okay, and remember we always want to draw our line. Okay, so when you distribute, you're saying 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 1/2, what's 1/2 of 6? Right, or 6 divided by 2, right? And then on the right side, we're saying 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 1 is a positive 2. So if you don't have this, oh wait, we didn't finish though, did we? Because we need to, can we simplify this 6/2? Right, so that's 3x equals 2x plus 2. So if you don't have this on your boards, please change your boards now. And I want you to go ahead and let's, you guys can actually, at this point, you should be able to finish the problem. Okay, so you're going to do steps 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and I'm going to give you 1 minute and 15.9 seconds. Go. If you're watching this, go ahead and pause the video and do it. Go. Okay, so you're at this point. So step 4 says to subtract the least variable, which yes, it is 2x, right? And this, we want to do this so we don't get stuck in a situation. Okay, so we're going to bring down the 6 plus x equals, that goes to 0, 2. Okay, so you should be checking your boards to see where you made your mistake, if you made a mistake. So now, step 5 says on the variable side, I'm going to add or subtract my constant. Because this is a positive 6, I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Okay, so x equals, if I have $2 and I try to take away 4, you owe me $6, whatever, you're going to still owe me $4, right? So x equals negative 4. And I saw a lot of you guys did your check, which is good. You just plug it back into here. All right, let's go ahead and do another one right now. So erase your boards, and let's go ahead and do the next one. Okay. I like how you're silently erasing your boards. So this is 2 times the quantity of x minus 1 equals, let's do this as, it's 2x plus 1 plus x. Now, this is a little bit different. So on the left side, right, you're going to start at step 2, but on the right side, what do you notice about the right side? Talk to your partner right now. Really quickly, take 32.8 seconds and talk to your partner. What do you notice about the right side? Go. All right, so if you notice on the right side, we have some like terms. So threw a little twist in here. Most of this class was super smart and it didn't even faze them. They just rocked it. Yep, just period 5 is awesome. Shh. And they're being so well behaved. So on the right side, or the left side, we did the distributive property. You should have had 2x minus 2. So change your board if you didn't get that minus 2. And then on the right side, we have 2x plus x. That gives us 3x. And I didn't do anything with the plus 1. So from here, if you don't have this, can you change your board now, please? And then go ahead and pause the video if you're doing this at home and finish the problem. You guys should be able to finish the problem from here. Okay, go ahead. You guys have 15, or let's see, I think it should take you, what, 45.6 seconds? Go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead because you guys did it. So I'm going to, step 4 says to add or subtract the least variable because they're both positive. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to bring this whole thing down. Did you guys check your boards? Did you bring down your negative 2?
Yeah.
Okay, and then 3x minus 2x is just x plus 1. So now on my, step 5 says on the variable side, I'm going to add or subtract the constant. So my constant is 1 because that value does not change. And I'm going to do here. So now if I held a certain student for 2 minutes after class, and I held that student again for another minute after class, I would hold them for a total of 3 minutes after class. Shh. Yeah. Okay, so here's the last one. I think you guys can do the entire thing, including checking it. Okay, here you go. Go ahead and shh. 3 times the quantity of g minus 7. Make sure you wrote a minus. Equals 2 times the quantity of 10 plus g. All right, do the entire thing start to finish. No belly aching. Go. You have complaining. You have 1 minute 27.8 seconds. Go. Okay, so step 1 or step 2, right, is you should have distributed. So you should have had 3g. 3 times 7 is a minus 21. Equals 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times g is plus 2g. Okay, and most of you guys got this part. So the next step is I need to subtract my least variable. So that would just be a g, and then I bring this down, minus 21 equals 20. Okay? And then here, I want to get g. So do you see how I have this number here? I want all my g's on one side, my numbers on the other. So that's why I'm going to have to add 21 to both sides. Add 21. So now that becomes 0, so I'm just left with g equals 41. So analyze your board right now and look to see where did you make your mistake, if you made a mistake. Some of you might benefit from getting that little insert I made for you, okay? So right now what I want you to do is I want you to turn to your partner and I want you to go through and explain this to them. When I say go, you're going to turn and explain how you solved this problem, what the steps were. Okay, so A, tell B. Ready, set, go. So today you hopefully learned about solving equations with variables on both sides, but you were doing the distributive properties. So here is your notes for today. You're going to copy them at the bottom of page 7 of your notes. So this is the example. Don't pull it out right now because it's going to make too much noise. You have this. So there we go.